those questions. I'll probably ask you a
Okay,
whole
let's just
bunch of
chat.
stuff.
So why don't you give everybody a couple minutes, because we just went live. People
Great.
need to pick up. I'm going to take myself off, but you can still hear me. And then I'm going to go away in a couple minutes once we get a couple people built on here. If there's, Hoby, if something compelling comes through the chat, I will share the chat with you guys. I'll interject when I can, but if something's going on, we'll just keep it moving. You have 12 viewers, so you guys, I'm gonna step out of the room, and Hoby, you guys can conversate and then give yourselves a couple minutes, and I'll give you a go for it.
Thank you, Shannon. Thanks for
take me away.
Yep, and thank you everybody who's joining us this morning. Sorry about a little bit of this new unscripted, trying to get on a regular pace, which will be, it looks like, on 11 o'clock on Tuesdays once a month. And again, what our goal is to invite different people from agents and sometimes maybe loan officers and insurance agents around the company, or managers, just to talk a little bit about Howard Hanna, talk a little bit of just hanging out. There's no real agenda on this. As I know our crack marketing team put a bunch of questions together, and Michael just said he hasn't looked at them. I said, don't worry, I probably won't ask you any of them. It'll be more free flow. And today we do have from Cleveland, Ohio, Michael DellaVella, who's out of our Westlake, Crocker Road office, depending on what we call it each week. But Michael, glad to have you with us.
Hoby, it's a pleasure. Thank you. Glad to be here.
So, and we're going to give everybody a few minutes to let them get on, if we can. And when we get to that number, because I'm looking for that number here, it's not, but as soon as Shannon Barr back in marketing gives us the thumbs up to move forward, we'll get into it. We're going to try to keep this about 30 minutes because I know everybody's busy, and plus there's that attention span. So about 30 minutes of just Michael and I sort of wrapping. The goal of this is, Michael and I have worked together for a long time. We know each other. It's just to more just chat about the industry, business, like any of us would if we were just together, whether they're on a company trip or having lunch or a cup of coffee. But that's the goal. And you can definitely throw in questions into the chat if you'd like. And if there's some questions that the audience has that they'd like to hear from myself or Michael or anybody answer, but really it's about Mike today. So
we have about 50 people watching you, so take it away.
All right, well, so we'll get started. And we know we've had some offices that are doing watch parties, so thank you for doing that as well. Mike, for everybody who doesn't know you, I could go in and start bragging about your success, and you've been with our company since 2008 at Howard Hanna. But why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, your team, just things that you think people in the audience would like to know about you who don't know you.
Okay, great. Well, I have been in the business, I believe, for 27 years. So I started my career, I was in the home building business with my father. We had a family home building business. And way back in the 90s, I got my real estate license, and I was licensed with Realty One. And I did all the selling for my family and went on my own and did some building, and had a real estate license. I did not need it for new construction, but what I found was it was great to market our projects. And I started to get a lot of backup listings from clients that we were building a home for, and they had a home to sell. So it was a natural. So out of the home building business, I went into real estate full time, and I was with Realty One. And do you remember I don't remember when it was at least 14 years ago, we had lunch at the Cabin Club. Mm-hmm. And it's the first time I met you, and we chatted, and great conversation, got to know each other. And it may have been less than a year later, Hoby, that you guys bought Realty One.
It was all because of that lunch.
Yeah, you know what? I did say that. I'm like, God, I don't know if you remember, but walking into that, wherever we went to introduce companies, I did say to you, you had to buy the company to get me to Howard Hanna. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that, because I mean, it's interesting, the journeys. We had Lori Hummel on from Pittsburgh, who has been with the company for I think 30 years, and was at a similar, started in new construction with a small company and then joined us to really grow her business, has been there the whole time. People come from different aspects. I always think it's interesting of how you came to Howard Hanna. And I remember that lunch, and I remember like, wow, this guy's somebody we need on our team. How do we bring him over? And you were pretty entrenched in the culture at Realty One, at least at the time. So, but you came through an acquisition, which many people have in a market where we had entered. So I thought I'd ask you about that. You know, when Howard Hanna sort of joined you, and you decided to stay affiliated, and you've been here now. So that was 2008, I think, when we did the Realty One deal. So it's been some time, and you're a top agent. You built an incredible team from your original, just being an individual agent coming from new construction from your family and backup sales. You built an incredible team in the market, a credible brand. But I said the question: as you joined Howard Hanna, what's been important? What's had you stay? Because I know everybody in the world has asked you to go somewhere else. I know I tried to get you to leave, but you wouldn't. What's been important to you about being part of the Howard Hanna family?
That's a great question. And thinking about that, I think I told you I'm a very loyal person, and I'm not, I'm going to go to the next thing that it's showing me some attention. So I'm loyal to people. And then when I got to Howard Hanna, what I loved about Howard Hanna was your family business, and your values were what I was used to coming from the building business in a big family business. And I just love that you, your brother, your aunts, your fathers, I got to meet your grandfather, and you guys just are such a solid family, and you are so wonderful to all your agents and lenders and go down the line. And what you guys built is just so admirable.
Well, what we all built, you're a big part of that.
Thank you.
And so is all the agents and employees.
And it was just so easy to be a part of. It's just like it felt like family, and that's what I'm all about. And it works, man, and it resonates. Let me tell you.
I appreciate that. And you've got, as I always say, you've got a family business right now within our business.
I do.
Well, yeah, and you've got family members that have joined you, and maybe others who are thinking about it. And I've watched your career grow from, like you said, that individual agent maybe having an assistant. And I remember when your wife came into the business, and sort of, the brain trust showed up finally and said, "We're going to make this professional." That's sort of a joke, but
you're 100% right.
And then you've built, so your team today. We talked about this last year, beginning of the year at lunch. The company has worked with you to grow an incredible team. It's almost a business within the business. How many people are on your team today?
19.
Okay, so you've got 19, and are they all licensed?
All but one.
Okay, so you've got 18 licensed. That's an office. There's real estate companies that don't, offices of companies, full companies that have 18 agents. You've built a company, and you're still out there making it happen as a rainmaker. You're driving the business. What is different, though, as you built your team, and I hope that we've given you all the tools and support to do so, but what today is one of those challenges that's out there in managing your team and working with those agents versus when you were just really responsible for yourself?
Well, I mean, when you want to build a team and you want to build a big team, I think what you have to do is give up a lot of the business that you were doing. There's just not enough time to go out. I still do a nice business, but could I do more if it was just me? Absolutely. But that's not what I want to do. So you're giving your time, your knowledge to people on your team to help them grow and, reach the level of success that hopefully you had and better.
Great.
But okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So I was going to say, so with the team, what our benefit is I have a absolutely unbelievable infrastructure inside of my team, the way it runs. It runs fantastic. And I have arguably, in my opinion, the best assistant in the business. And my wife is incredible. And, you know, we spend a lot of time, and we kind of the same thing. My wife and I, it's family, and we are, you know, we love our team. My team is amazing. I've got just forward thinking, like-minded agents like myself, and they're all incredible. A lot of them, probably half, got into the business. I sold them a house or sold a house for them. And, you know, there you go.
Yeah. It is, I say that to managers that are out there. Our big teams, in a way, you're managing an office within the office. And how do you identify the right agents? Even this is for the management side, those people that bought houses from us, those people that have relocated from out of town, those people that from your own network and people, you know, your sphere, and saying, hey, this is an opportunity for you to grow that could be on Limitless, and I'm willing to put that time in. I think it's great you have that passion to build that yourself, not just all about yourself, as many teams do. But I also think we can help build the individual agent in the same way. You know, you maybe can't start it. People criticize us sometimes saying that Howard Hanna doesn't care about teams. It's like this crazy thing, because I think we do. We probably could do a better job. But I think where we don't is that the first year you were in the business, you built, I mean, how many years till you brought that first assistant in and then started to go into the team? Because it didn't just happen within your first year of the business. You had to build something. You know?
It didn't. I went to a Craig Proctor seminar in Dallas, and Laura and I went together, and we're sitting through the seminar, and I'm still young, and they're giving their pitch and telling you what it costs. I'm like, oh, forget this. Well, we had a nice time. Dallas was really cool. And Laura says, we're doing this. When I get home, I'm getting my license, and we're going to do this. So I got to give the credit to her that that's how it started. I had the wherewithal to say, I want to see what is this team thing? Mm-hmm. Because it was mid 90s that we did this, and, you know, the rest is history. But it took the leap of faith when Laura said, I'll be your assistant. I'll be a licensed assistant. And, you know, we built it from there. And where she's helped out is she's an amazing agent. She's so organized, and, you know, her and my assistant, Ann, just do an unbelievable job of setting up systems that we have built on and made better and better each year.
So I'm going to lead into that. So tell me one thing that as you've built your systems and you've integrated, and I know you use a lot of the tools that we provide you at Howard Hanna, but is there one, if you could name one thing that it was within the company that we've helped you to build that team, that you would say to other realtors, you know, this is something you should really look at or make sure you're maximizing? There's no right or wrong answer. And the second is, because I always like to improve, is there something we could do more of for you as you sit here with your team today and your growth for the next, could we do something different that would help you?
Okay. So with what I use with Hanna, I am really, when I go on a listing presentation and when I do my listing presentations, I'm big with both PowerPoint presentations and leaving them with marketing material. So what I use is I've taken Hanna's presentation and I've personalized it for myself. Mm-hmm. But what works is I'm selling, besides Michael DellaVella, I am part of the Howard Hanna brand. And here's what Howard Hanna brings to the table. They're a family-owned company. They are one-stop shopping. They, you know, managers, agents, a network. I always pitch that, you know, we have in-house mortgage people that in our office, we have a sales board, or a whiteboard that'll just say, here's some approved buyers if anyone has it. And I also will use, you know, I'll touch on, here's some programs for buyers that we can do, buy before you sell. Talk about, you know, we have the insurance companies, but I always pitch that because I think that's one of the strongest points. And I do say this a lot, Hoby, so I'm sorry that I do this. Never had to use it. But I have Hoby Hanna in my cell phone. I can call him at a moment's notice.
Yep.
Can anyone else? Not saying anyone in Hanna, but I think that goes so far. I have your dad's number in I have Duffy's. Don't
Yeah.
have Ann Helen's, but I'm going to work on that.
I think everybody has that. That's like that's the 911 call.
So all that stuff is, I take what you give us, and then I personalize it for what I do.
Right.
But everybody knows Howard Hanna in the Cleveland market. I mean, you've been here. You're in the Cleveland market. It's powerful branding.
So what could we improve to help your team or do more of?
Okay, well, this is going to be just being completely honest.
That's why I asked. I knew you
Okay.
would be.
So I have been doing a lot of studying on this. As I think we've talked before, I was on a CRM that I use called Boomtown.
Mm-hmm.
And I have tried to, because of the vow, I had to do something different with my CRM. It doesn't work the way it worked. So I have put everybody in Engage, and Engage works. And we've used Engage for all past clients. But one thing it doesn't do, and it's so important, is you still need lead gen. And I don't quite think, I know you have the boosting where you're getting emails, but getting numbers and from people, I think is a little more powerful, and you'll have more people. If you use the KV Core, for example, that's what I'm looking at, since I can't do Boomtown, but I don't think KV Core will work as well. But my opinion, that would make complete next level.
Love it. And I know Dan Riley's working on that right now. It was interesting because there was a question that I will come back to, because you sort of touched on it, but is that IDX vow situation, and sort of, what effect or how you think about it, which I'll ask in a second. But what's interesting is that the vow, this vow concept, which is interesting about that cell phone number, that policy was written in 2003 by the National Association of Realtors, and typical fashion, they don't update things. So the verification for a vow is an email, believe it or not. It verifies the email. However, in today's day and age, we want cell phone numbers. You want to verify via text. You want to be able to text the client. So we're working with that rule committee to try to get that changed, because that's where emails are great and email marketing is great. But when you get leads, the real leads are ones that are coming in that you have a phone number that you can do, because people today don't check their email. They'll check their text and they'll go back and look at email. So we're trying to improve that. And we've got some things that hopefully, even before HannaCon, we can address, but at HannaCon, it will be a big piece of what we're trying to look at. So I do appreciate you sharing that and being honest. But go back to the vow. So frankly, you're one of the agents I met with a lot prior to launching it. Obviously made a bunch of, noise. We've been 2 months in. Any thoughts, feedback? How's that affected your business, good, bad, or indifferent?
Well, the way it's affected it is my CRM, my lead gen is nothing anymore. It's changed it that way. So that's pretty big way.
Yeah. I mean, and that's unfortunate. One of the things that, like Boomtown, who you were with, we went to them a year ago and asked them to modify and said we could make you our preferred vendor. They said no. This was even before we launched. They said they just wouldn't do it. And we had some good agents. Well, now they're at and you mentioned they were sold, which might've been the reason why. And they sold to actually KV Core. And so now, Kevin Patai is talking to them about how we can, now they're scrambling because they want your business back. They want others. And we also, Kevin, what's the name of the company that, there's a company called Union Street Media, for anybody that's looking at their CRM and their lead gen. That is a really good product that's from Virginia Beach. So a lot of our agents in the Southeast have used them. They've got a great deal with Hanna. So as you're going down the path, make sure if you reach out to me or Kevin Patai or Leah Gibbons, because we can get you in front of Union Street, let them, and they already have a Hanna templated. The valve is ready to go, combined with IDX feed. We've had some agents already jump to it. So just so you know, if we can help you there as you investigate, but we're hoping to come up with some multiple solutions. So, all right. So, but I appreciate that. So I'm going to sort of jump into, you've been on company trips before, you've been other things. Are you going to HannaCon this year?
Absolutely. My wife, Laura, and I were just talking about that last night over dinner, and we are going. And matter of fact, we may go early because we're a little bit of Star Wars nerds. We want to head out to while we're there and go see Star Wars Land at Disney. So yeah, we're going.
So,
I love those trips.
I was going to ask, what do you love about them? Because you've been on them. You've been on just trips. You've been on the convention model trips. You've even, when the old days of the convention, which was separate, even maybe in Cleveland or Pittsburgh, you've always participated. So what do you like about them, and what would you share with the agents that are listening about, if they go, what they should take away?
To me, I think the thing that I love the most is you get to network with so many people that are doing the same thing that you do every day. And it seems like agents just love to share what they're doing. No one is so tight-lipped, and you really get to know people. And today, in this competitive market, when you do deals with people from Howard Hanna, and you're in multiples and they know you and they really got to know you, you have a better chance of winning the listing, the sale.
Yeah.
That they know you. I mean, there's so many people that don't know each other. Also, I mean, you got to know you. I got to know your brother really well. Mm-hmm. You really get to see who the Hannas are and what a wonderful family you guys, and how real you are. And spending time with you over the years through that, I mean, I consider you a friend. We know each other well. Yeah. Also, I loved last year's, I believe it was Matt. I loved Magic Johnson as your keynote speaker. I thought he was absolutely spectacular, but I'm a Magic fan, but that was great. I like the camaraderie after events, the cocktail parties. I mean, you really get to bond and know a lot of the agents. Laura and I have made such wonderful friends over all the years. I mean, I think I was on the first one you did in Vegas, and that was a ball. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, it was the first one we did for Cleveland agents. It was right after we did the Realty One deal. We said, we'd had trips and incentives in different markets, and we said, let's put this together. And I still think it was one of the things that really brought the two companies together, the team together. It was really
100%. I mean, it's a great bonding experience when you're somewhere nice and you're out by the pool. I mean, you sit and you talk and you get to know somebody, go out to dinner with them. It's
a different perspective. It's really true,
And all the people behind the scenes over the years, I've got to know them. They're amazing. Amazing. Yeah. You're just top notch. Everything you guys do are top notch.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
The best party I've ever been to in my life was a party in Jamaica. That's the one where everybody ended up in the water.
Yeah, I remember.
The most fabulous party I've ever been to ever.
Yeah, John Yasko threw me in, who's maintenance in Pennsylvania, threw me into the pool. And the next thing, fully clothed, and I think my phone was wiped out. And next thing you know, like, everybody decided it was a pool party.
It was a pool party.
It was like a conga line went into the pool. But we're getting older, Michael. I don't know if we can keep doing that. We have to have the younger people sort of step up the game, right?
I agree.
Okay. That was quite some time ago, but it's fun. So do you do anything internally to encourage, like, your team members? Like, do you for them to go? Do you do any kind of contest? Do you sort of
absolutely.
They have to? What do you do there?
We have a number that they hit and they go.
Yep.
I won't share it with you, but it's probably even less than it's easier to make it on my team than it would be to make it as an individual agent.
Yeah. And I would say that some of the brands that we have that aren't Howard Hanna, which the HannaCon's invited for everybody. I just saw that with Stephanie Burrows saying it's Allen Tate. We want the Allen Tate agents there. We want the Tucker agents there. We want the whole network of Hanna companies. And that's what makes it great, because you're going to find new ideas and referrals from different markets. You're going to connect with people. You're going to see that there's that back and forth. There's a lot of similarities, but you build your network even broader. So we want everybody to be there with us if you can. So
it's funny you say that, Harry. Hoby, I didn't even bring this up, but from every trip, I think I've taken at least one referral and given referrals to people that I've met.
Mm-hmm.
And hit it off with on the trip.
So I'm going to move a little bit, because we don't have much time left in this, a few minutes, but I want to talk about the market and a little bit of your marketing and your creativity. You're creative. You've seen a lot of markets. So, number one right now in this market, what are you doing to address the listing inventory shortage, the market conditions themselves? Is there anything that I know you've got your new blog that your podcast. I'm sorry, that you started. I see that microphone there, and you've put a whole podcast room, and but what are you doing, and what is your team doing to capture this market today? We've got, a few months left this year, and still good activity, we hope. But what can you share with all the agents, some of the best of what Michael DellaVella does?
That's a great question. So let me try to answer that. You can call it fundamentals. It's a creature of habit. It's being disciplined, but I try to do the same stuff day in and day out. Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing that we do is, and I stole this from your grandfather, it's talk to 7 people a day. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's past customers is gold. Start with that, but try to get 7 people a day. Mm-hmm. Try to set up meetings with people. I am still huge into mailings. I pick neighborhoods, and I do them. I don't just do them once in a while. I'll go a neighborhood and I'll hit it for 8 straight weeks. Then I'll go on maybe once a month. I'll pick another neighborhood 8 straight weeks. And it gets to the point where some people will call and say, "Hey, that's enough, man. Stop mailing me." But in my neighborhood, it works so well because my wife walks around with our dog. She knows everybody that has dogs. People. But being consistent in the phone calls, that's the best. Just try to be disciplined every day. Myself, you, no one can control this market. Right. So can't control it. What can you control? Mm-hmm. Only control what I can do. And if it's putting my best foot forward every day and reaching out to people, again, I'm not the cold caller.
Right.
They're warm leads, but I always stay in contact with people that are past clients. Yeah. No, agents. Great. But it's that simple, but do it. Don't worry. You can't control. That's what you can control.
I will say this about you, Michael, becoming friends, getting to know you over all these years. This is from me, a little insight of what people might not know about Michael DellaVella is that he is a lot of our agents, and I love this. If we're even the candidness of, okay, hey, here's what's happening with some of your lead gen when we went to the Val, and I appreciate that bringing up. Michael always gives it to me straight when I ask him a question and says, hey, here's a challenge. How can we work on this? He's talked about it with me before. So that I can say internally, it's positive reinforcement. It's not, there's a lot of agents like to complain about everything and they get in their own way. What I will say about you is you'll bring to me, like, here's my challenge. How do we address this? Here's what I'm doing. Anybody have any other ideas? But when you leave that meeting, when you leave that coaching session, when you leave that room, what I notice is that you've got a high degree of that vitamin A, that attitude. Like, the public knows that you care about your clients, you care about the industry. I've never heard you've never come to me saying the company better do this or else. It's more like, what can the company do? Here's what we're working on. Great. Now I got to go out into the market and I got to make it happen. I've got to take care of my family. I got to take care of the agents on my team. I got to drive business. I got to coach them. And you're always being creative, but yet keeping the basics. but it really, to me, is your attitude. You've got such a great energy. People that worked with you, I meet them and say, oh, Howard Hanna, do you know Michael DellaVella? And there's never anybody who said anything but like, that's my agent for life. He's incredible, and that's what I love having around your family business being part of our family business. I just want to say that's a testament to you and Laura and what you've instilled. And hopefully we're helping give that balance to you. So thank you. I just, wanted to say
that. I appreciate the compliment, but it's become like my trademark. I treat people the way I want to be treated.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And I go the extra mile.
Golden rule, right? Yeah.
Golden rule. I get referrals that way. That's how it works. And I'll do that with agents that I do deals with. I want them to have a great experience with me. I want the deal to go smoothly, because next time I want them to pick me if we do a deal again.
Yep. So I'm going to conclude not with a real estate question, because we're just going to wrap up, but tell us about yourself. Just Michael DellaVella outside of real estate. What motivates you? What you like to do in your spare time? I mean, I know you're a Buckeye fan, but beyond that,
bleed scarlet and gray. Bleed scarlet and gray.
Do you like that advertising we're doing? Is that okay?
Oh, I love it. And when I get to go, like, it's great because I didn't even say anything, but I go with my kids and they're like, Dad, that's Howard Hanna. So it's so cool. So cool that they do that. And what a great market. I mean, it's just an unbelievable city. So I love Columbus, and my 3 boys got to go there, but I'm all about family. It's my family and my friends, and Laura and I are now just about empty nesters. And if I could go back and have 10 kids, I think we would. It's just the greatest time, and we love being with our family, and we love being with our friends. We like to travel. What else can I tell you about us? I'm really now, I'm into this. I'm into podcasting. I'm into podcasts. I listen to them like crazy, and I'm trying to build something organically. Can I give myself a plug?
Of course you can.
Okay. So MDV, the Blueprint. I never say this, but I'm learning. Like and follow Instagram, YouTube. I'm starting to get Facebook, but MDV, the Blueprint, or MDV Team, you'll find it. It's a great podcast. Adds a lot of valuable information for real estate agents, local business. Please like and follow.
Yeah, no, and you
had to say that, Hoby.
Yeah, you should. And if you're even thinking about something like podcasts, I mean, go like and follow, but go see it. Michael told me he was doing it. We had lunch in January, and he told me about it, and I was like, Mike, that's pretty cool. And I've watched some of them. They're it's not just all about real estate too. There's some stuff about life. There's some stuff about local people. There's there's great takeaway, even if you're not in real estate. So, love that you promoted that, and glad you did. And so I will, thank you for your time today, Mike. I got to take a bet. Who's winning Monday night's football game? Because I just, I have to ask.
I had that written down.
You're a big friend. You're good friends with the coach, so we have to see.
Well, and I was a little disappointed he didn't call me after the game and thank me some of the tips I gave him. Shocked. But I'm.
Mike played golf with Coach Stefanski and decided to tell him the offense he'd be running, and gave him a little. He said, "Give the ball to Chubb more." That was number one. And
yeah, what a great guy. But I'm worried that you got a Steelers team that lost. Not only they lost, they got beaten. It's a rivalry game. My heart tells me, oh, Browns are going to win, but my gosh, I mean, you got the Steelers Monday night coming off a loss, arguably the best coach in football. Yeah, I think it's going to come down to a field goal, and I think the Browns are going to win 27-24.
Okay, you heard it there. So all the Bills fans and the Jets fans and the Colts fans and the Panthers fans and the Eagles fans that are watching this, and I'm probably missing somebody, the Washington football team, Pittsburgh and Cleveland, we have to get into this a little bit.
Oh,
so I'm sorry, but we have somebody on when two of those teams play. We'll get into that. But so, all right. So I like your bet because the more Clevelanders that keep saying that was nice that you did all that, but every Browns fan I know is like, oh, the Steelers are down. We're going to crush them 30-0.
Steelers are never down.
I was a betting man. I might go on the Steelers.
Steelers are never down. And it's going to be a dogfight. What's your prediction? Steelers, what's the score?
I think it's a close game. I think it's a 3-point game, but I'll go the opposite way. I think Pittsburgh wins
as you should
at home. And if the game was in Cleveland, I'd probably go 3 towards the Browns.
Yeah, so, it's not going to shock me if we lose, but it's at home, and God, I wouldn't. Coming off a loss, that scares the hell out of me, though.
Yeah. And like you said, it wasn't just a loss. So
the other thing that scares me, and I hope he can do it, but Dwan Jones is going to have his hands full all game with Watt, so it'll be.
But he's a Buckeye. So
he's a Buckeye, but you're going against a rookie going against, defensive player of the year. So he'll have his hands full. So indoctrination to the NFL big time.
Well, it'll be exciting. It'll be exciting to watch and a good game. But Mike, thanks so much for you taking time out of your busy schedule.
Oh, this is so much fun.
And we'll catch up and do it again. And look forward to what's the next date? October. I think it's the 12th. So if you mark, these guys are here. This crew of people here are giving me the wrong dates,
It's the 10th, everybody. Tune in on the 10th of October for Hoby.
All right, 10th of October. We'll start promoting. We'll have another one of our great members of our family and team, another agent from somewhere else. We're going to try to diversify. We've done Pittsburgh. We've done Cleveland. It'll probably be somebody in one of our other markets next month. And look forward to keeping these unscripted going. Hope you enjoy them, like them, and share them. And what else are you supposed to say? Follow. I don't know if you can follow these, but just taking a page from Michael DellaVella, and follow the blueprint.
Follow the blueprint. Go Bucks, go Browns.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Mike. Talk to you soon. Thanks everybody.
Hoby.
Have a great week. A lot of fun. Thanks. Bye-bye.